All right, love muffins, I'm back for a third time. I'm sorry if I messed up what I did. I think I typed an extra letter in the link and I don't know which one it was. So I'm going to go over pre-med with you again. I'm going over the study guide, okay? The review. Circulation that carries blood through your body is general circulation. Number two, an area of tissue that dies due to lack of blood supply is called an infarction, not infraction, infarction. Rapid but regular contractions of the heart muscle, that's a flutter, like a butterfly, all right? Fibrillation now is rapid, random, but irregular contractions. It's going off crazy, all right? Pulmonary circulation is when the circulation of blood from the heart to the lungs and back to the heart. This vein carries oxygenated blood, the only vein that does that, and it's the pulmonary vein. Remember, you have 3 layers around the heart. I need to name, excuse me, of the outermost layer, and that would be the pericardium. Sorry, got dry throat. Okay, the valve that's between the left atrium and left ventricle is the mitral valve. The contraction phase of the heartbeat is systole, just like systolic is the first thump you hear. The instrument to measure blood pressure is the sphygmomanometer. A murmur is abnormal sound in the heart between beats. Another name for hardening of the arteries is arteriosclerosis. The atrium are the upper chambers of the heart. The largest vein in the body is the vena cava. Small, I didn't go over this one with you, but small pinpoint hemorrhages are called petechiae. Excuse me, I'll spell it. Peticichae. Petchiae. The lower, larger chambers of your heart are called ventricles. 3 types of blood vessels you got in your body. What are they? Arteries, veins, capillaries. Arteries carry oxygenated blood away from the heart, and veins carry deoxygenated blood back to the heart. And the heart has 4 chambers, 2 upper, 2 lower. The upper chambers are the atrium, the lower chambers are the ventricles. You have 3 layers in this sac around the heart. They are the endocardium, myocardium, and pericardium. All right, and they make up the heart wall. The only vein that carries oxygenated blood, again, is the pulmonary vein. The pulmonary artery is the only artery that carries deoxygenated blood. Your SA node is the pacemaker of your heart. It's located in the right atrium. On an EKG, the P wave going up represents the atrial contraction, or the top of the heart contracting. The QRS complex, it represents ventricular contraction, because your heart doesn't just beat like this, it goes thump, 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 okay? That's how the heart actually beats, that real sound. I just made it. I studied there. All right, the superior vena cava brings blood from the upper part of the body back to the heart. Large vessels that carry blood again away from the heart are arteries. When you have chest pain due to a difference between the supply and demand of blood or oxygen, it is angina, not vagina, angina. It still looks like a heart attack, so just go 911. If your heart is unable to pump the correct amount of blood and blood starts to back up and accumulate in your lungs and your liver, it's called congestive heart failure, CHF. If you got blood in your lungs floating around, you're not going to be able to put in much air. Okay, and varicose veins are abnormally swollen veins. Cardiac catheterization is the insertion of a catheter into a vein or artery to inject dye to diagnose an occlusion of a heart vessel. Now that's the vessels that's on top of the heart that actually take care of the heart itself, okay? All right, now we have matching, and several of these are used more than once. Cardio matches heart. Veno matches vein. Aorto matches aorta. Corono also matches heart. Plebo is vein. Cyano is blue. Angio is relating to blood. Thrombose is clot. And vaso is vessel. All right? Now, got something in my eye. Oh no, I'm sorry. Really, really good part coming up now. All right. When this condition is when the heart is unable to pump the required amount of blood, and blood backs up and accumulates in the lungs and the liver. Congestive heart failure. Large large blood vessels that carry blood away from the heart are arteries. And the insertion of a catheter into a vein and artery to diagnose an occlusion is cardiac catheterization. Now, if you have chest pain because there's a difference in the supply and demand of oxygen, in other words, a heart attack is when part of the heart muscle dies, the infarction part. Angina, nothing really dies, but it's just a lack of balance between the supply and demand of oxygen. Abnormally swollen veins, varicose veins. Ooh, the kids used to call them very close veins. All right, cardio is heart. Brachio is arm. Cyano is blue. All right, 3 main types of blood vessels. What you got? V, C, and A. Any order you want to list them. Okay, I gave you the first letters. The what is the pacemaker of your heart? The SA node. And how many quarts of blood do we have in our body? 5. So you can afford to give a little bit up, okay? 5 quarts of blood. Arteries carry blood away from the heart, and veins carry blood back to the heart. Now, veins are going against gravity. So veins have valves in them, just like the heart does, but they're smaller. And they prevent the backflow of blood. Well, when these little bitty valves don't work too well, that's when you get the swollen veins, which are varicose veins. All right? Okay, let's see. The upper chambers and the lower chambers and all that good stuff. We got it. All right, rapid, random, irregular. That's fibrillation. Hardening of the arteries, arteriosclerosis. An abnormal sound heard in the heart between beats. Thump, thump, thump. That's a murmur. There was a little boy, his mom had gotten him a doctor's kit, and he had a little bitty plastic stethoscope in it. All right, plastic. It was $1 kid. And he was listening to his sister's heartbeat. She was about 2, he was about 4. And he told the mother, he says, her heart sounds different than mine. And the mama just thought he was, okay. Well, when they happened to go to a doctor for a well checkup, the mother mentioned this to the doctor, that he said he heard it through the stethoscope. The doctor listened really well. The little girl did have a heart murmur. So you can't knock those dollar stethoscopes, but don't depend on them, all right? Circulation that carries blood through the body is general circulation. An area of tissue that dies due to a lack of blood supply, infarction. Circulation of blood from the heart to the lungs and back to the heart, pulmonary. The valve between the left atrium and left ventricle, that is the mitral valve. Rapid but regular contractions of the heart, that's the flutter. And the contraction phase is systole. Now you're going to have to know some abbreviations, like congestive heart failure is abbreviated CHF. Myocardial infarction, MI. Shortness of breath, don't get funny, SOB. Atrial fibrillation is AFib. Blood pressure, how do you abbreviate blood pressure? BP. And what did we learn the second week of intro? CPR, which is cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Normal sinus rhythm is NSR. And electrocardiography or electrocardiogram is EKG. Now in Europe they call it an ECG. Same thing. We just picked the K. How do you abbreviate hypertension, which is high blood pressure? HTN. All right? And that's about all I can do for you, cupcakes. Only thing else you have left is your cute little diagram right there with the word bank right there. So if you misspell the word, I'm going to come kick your butt right there. All right? So, I'm sorry I had to do this again. I screwed it up somehow. But I hope I get this one out to you. All right? Love y'all. See you later. Bye-bye.